Hello, thanks for clicking on this video. Let me tell you a bit about me professionally to give you some reasons why you might want to read my content. Um, as an undergraduate, I studied chemical engineering and finally ended up with a master's in operations research and statistical engineering. From about 2007 to 2012, I taught myself how to trade stocks full-time and I did it from home. Then in 2014, while pursuing my CMT and CFA, I was hired to be a markets and equities analyst in a large brokerage firm for about 3 years. There, I had the unique opportunity to be a jack of all trades. I covered and recommended companies from a fundamental basis. At the same time, I was paid to give my opinion on the broader markets, having to combine my technical observations of various asset classes and collaborate with what the economic team thought, and come together and give a market view. So here are some of my notable calls. This is the one that kind of put me on the map and raised a couple of eyebrows. I was one of the first analysts to cover this particular stock, Electronics. It hasn't been covered for quite a while, and I was the first to cover it. But more importantly, not only was I the first to cover it, I was also the only analyst, right, to essentially nail the target price of the stock almost exact to the T, not once but twice in a row. So as you can see over here, the blue line is the actual price of the stock itself. The red line is my target price recommendation. So as you can see over here, that 1, 2, 3 times the price of this stock basically hit my target price almost exactly. And what made me really thankful, and I realized that I believe this is actually God's blessing, because there were other analysts from other houses who are more experienced than I. They all gave much higher target prices, so that the price of the stock never really hit any of their prices. It just hit mine. So this is the one that started to raise people's eyebrows. Um, Here are other things that I do. I would also be asked to give my take on the US market. I must say, it's actually really stressful having to tell people if I thought the markets are going up or down, because you can be wrong in so many ways. So I actually hate doing so. But in my time there, I had to give my opinion, and I had to give an exact an opinion, probably 3 or 4 times, and thankfully, right, I think 3 of them turned out pretty well. One of them kind of went nowhere. Um, so here's an example. What you see here is the exact slide that I did in my market webinar in 2013. And I basically was looking at the US industrial sector, right? And traders were asking me what I think was going to happen to the price. And so even though I dislike giving such advice, because you can be wrong in so many ways, but they insisted, so I told them, I said, look, I think that the price is actually going to go up a bit first, and then it's going to retrace down into this zone, after which it's probably going to continue on its bull market. And then yeah, in this case it actually did happen pretty much the way I thought it was going to be. um, do not just short-term market analysis, but broader term as well. Here's a report that I did that basically talked about where I thought that the US bull market was in terms of phase. Here I did a little bit of Elliott wave work, but I don't like to just use Elliott waves. I learn these technical topics, and I try to understand why it happens the way it happens. And if I find that a theory is useful, it has some explanatory power, then I use it and try to build another case. So in this case, I built a case that I thought that the bull market was only halfway in. So here is a theoretical market cycle, and our house basically said that we thought we were in this zone here, which means that we are only halfway through the bull market. And this was, back in 2015. And as you know, we still had 4 more years of a bull market. So this was pretty much on the money. Over here, I had a chance to do quantitative research, where I had a chance to do statistical studies. And in this case, I did it on gold and silver. So I was very thankful that I had a chance to do some study and to even publish reports on market technicals, fundamentals, as well as quantitative. So that's why people say I'm a jack of all trades. Um, However, the people that know me the best, and this is the reason why I was even hired to be a market equities analyst in the first place, was because uh, I have a knack, or rather, I like to analyze bottom of stock markets. And there were people that knew that I actually caught the 2009 financial crisis bottom. And that's actually the reason why I came out all of a sudden, because right now we're having this COVID crisis that's going to have a bottom or a few bottoms, right? So more recently, to show you my work, just March 20th. March 20th is when I launched my first report. So I've been silent for about 4 months, right? For a few months right now. And I noticed something and I said, I'm seeing too many warning signs that a bottom is coming. So even though at that time there was bad news all around and many people were convinced that the market was going to continue going further, and you can tell, I would just ask people, especially they could be rich tycoons or businessmen, and I just go, hey, do you think there's a bottom? And they will tell me, oh, for sure, we're going to go even more down. Well, this report I did in March 20th. Um, and I wrote, some companies have crashed so much that the intermediate bottom might be in the process. And then I mentioned some stocks that I'm nibbling on, right? Now, in the blog, I actually defined what an intermediate bottom was. I said the intermediate bottom is not a matter of days. It could be weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks. And in that process of what I call consolidation, a lot of bombed out stocks can actually significantly recover. So you don't want to miss it. And so thank God that here is when I actually reported this report. As you can see, this report came before the actual bottom occurred in the broad markets. Over here. And then subsequently, 10 days later, I would recommend that, hey, take profit on those that surged. We sold Planet Fitness, and this is the chart of Planet Fitness, right? This is the chart of the S&P. We sold Planet Fitness and we bought laggards instead. And that appeared over here. So that is the type of work that I do. Now, go back to 2016. After I did my Valuetronics report and I got some good reviews from people, I decided that I wanted to start up my own stock advisory company, and I was going to call it Quant Zombie. But just as I was in the middle of developing it, a divine opportunity came by my way, and I was hired to go to the US directly from Singapore, and I became a senior business analyst working for the largest, one of the largest radiology firms in Nashville, USA. Over there, I had a chance to do operations research, um, optimization, and also some M&A analysis. So I really cherish this opportunity to work with great people, but also the chance to just be on different sides of the financial market. Before I was a trader, I was an analyst that looked at companies from the outside. Now I had a chance to be on the other side. I was in a company and I was looking at P&Ls. I was looking at acquisitions and things like that. So yeah, I just really cherish this opportunity. But that also meant that I had to stop my plans for Quant Zombie. So what happened was, instead of letting Quant Zombie go to waste, I just changed the purpose of Quant Zombie from a commercial company. It was going to be now a base of knowledge that I want to share with my friends. But my heart actually is for my Christian family. Those, and Christians who work hard, good people, and who are kingdom minded. As Christians, I know that many of us make a lot of sacrifices. We serve in church. We are told to forgive people that are hard to forgive. We give our time, we give our money. We are told not to cheat to get ahead, even though we see people that cheat and get ahead. So because of this, I actually want to reserve my best ideas here. And since I did this, to the grace of God, and please go back and check my blog. You can see all the blogs that I've written. Majority of the blog posts were informative and they did pretty well. So please go and double check. A sample of work, right? Here, AVTech, a value play, January 10th, 2017. We said that there was a possible 30% upside. 4 months later, AVTech hit the 30% target. In fact, it went 55%. I didn't expect that. Next, I talked about in May 2017, the metals. We said that there was a possible 30% upside again. And a few months later in December, that's exactly what happened. Lee Metals hit the target price of 40 cents, which was exactly a 30% gain. This is quite crazy. I mean, it looks crazy, but it really is crazy, right? And that's what happened. More recently, silver trade, 2019. This was one of those rare times that I decided, I won't just say that silver is worth more. I said, let's try to draw in where I think the price of silver may go. So this is what I did. And if you go back and check the price of silver, check the charts, you'll find that it really hit the target price exactly 3 months later. It really hit 17 a few months later. So I'm not saying that I'm so good and I can continue to have this sort of precise type of analysis. All the good calls I made before does not guarantee that going forward I can continue this. The markets can change. The fundamentals behind markets can change. Things can happen. I can only promise that I would study the markets hard and try to give my honest perspective on it. And I have to rely the results to God. So yeah. So let's join together as a Christian family. You pray for me and I pray for you. And let's hope that good works and wisdom can come out of all of this. And that's the purpose of what I'm doing. Okay, thanks for making it to the end. Thanks for joining and running the race together. If you want to keep up with the financial updates, when I put them up on an ad hoc basis, okay, please do subscribe to my website at kwanzombie.com and also the Facebook page, kwanzombie.com. This will ensure that you get the updates in a timely manner. If you want to join a group of like-minded individuals, right, to share knowledge, and it will also have other timely updates as well, please do, and I encourage you to join this. It's the Financial Markets and Godly Wisdom Fellowship Facebook group. Okay, I put a lot of insights in the market here as well. Now, if you want to receive blog posts, Christian blog posts that talk about the depth of grace, who Jesus is, and also Christian apologetics put together in a unique framework, can I please encourage you to check out my Christian ministry page? It is www.letterstoamodern-day-job.com. That's Job of the Bible. And the Facebook page is Kenneth W K Koh, Letters to Modern Day Job. You might be wondering, why is this ministry page called Letters to Modern Day Job? This is the story that I haven't told you yet. Basically, I lived over 20 years of my life with incurable eczema. I lived like this, as you can see here. My whole body, more than 70%, was covered with uncontrollable sores. And there was nothing any medicines could do to stop it from getting worse every single year. And fast forward 20 years, and just only 5 years ago, I made a miraculous recovery. I'm so much better now, to the grace of God. This has baffled all the doctors that have seen me, but I know what has happened to me, and that's why I'm writing about this in my ministry here. So if you need some encouragement, if you need to know that the impossible can happen, and Jesus is the person you should be looking for in times of crises, please do check out this blog. Thank you so much for listening to this video, and I will see you soon.